welcome back to my channel. My name's Caitlin, but as an artist, I'm known as Feral. I stressed myself out so unnecessarily for this video, and then I had an epiphany, and all of a sudden, everything changed. The clouds were lifted. I also felt kind of dumb because I have no idea why I didn't think of this beforehand. So in this video, I'm working on a box. I bought it from the op shop and I'm making it over to house my tarot cards. Like my main deck that I use, because I've got quite a few. I've been keeping my eyes out for like a nice box or bag or something to store my main deck in, but I wasn't able to find one that I liked, so I thought I'm gonna make one. Why not? Duh. I paint stuff, I'm gonna paint one. But for this video, for some reason I had it in my head that I needed to finish the box in one video. It needed to be from start to finish, the whole process. And I was really stressing myself out because I post a video a week and I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to finish this box to the standard that I wanted it to be and to the vision that I have if I was going to rush it to finish the video. So I decided, who made these rules? Me. I had self-imposed this rule on myself that in a video I had to have the start and the finish. I had to have the whole project done. But who says that? That's not a thing. That's just something I've put on myself. And I really want the quality of my art to be at a certain level, and I don't want to rush things just to create content. So this is just part one of this making this tarot box project. There's going to be another part, and in that part I'm going to try my hand at polymer clay sculpture. So that's just a little bit of like a sneak peek into what will be coming in that video. But for this video, I'm working on priming and painting the box. There's going to be a lot of footage of me painting, a lot of sped up footage because the painting itself has already taken me like at least 3 hours. So there's going to be a lot of footage of me painting, and while I'm painting, I'm going to have a chat with you about some stuff. I don't know what yet. I haven't decided, but editing me is going to put what we talk about here now, so you have a little bit of an idea of what you're in for. Let's get into the video. I just went to the op shop and I spotted this little box, and I've had my eye on a box that I can make over to house my main tarot deck for quite some time. And this is a good size, and it's quite sturdy. So we're gonna make this over. Here she is. Before. Someone's painted a quaint little scene on it. It's very cute, but you know, it's not what we're going for. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sand it down and I'm gonna think about what I want to paint on her. Picked a more difficult box? Possibly not. The paint on this box, it's like flaking off. So it's flaking off, and like little bits of stuff were coming off, but not everything was coming off. But I'm gonna use this texture, not try to fight it. And I'm inspired to incorporate texture and an old, you know, weathered antique. Was this found 300 years ago in Cthulhu's cave kind of vibe, you know? So now I'm looking at, do I want to gesso it white or grey? I've got this grey gesso from Matisse. They have lots of colours in gesso. It's really fun. But I only have this blue-grey, winter blue. But it could be good to have. Sometimes it's nice to not start with a white base, so I think I'm going to use this. Okay, so now we're getting into the painting chunk of the video. And I've started in with my golden open acrylics. So I wanted to kind of do like an underpainting kind of thing, just to get an idea of the values, because I know I'm going to be doing some sort of lighting effects in this painting. So I kind of wanted to map out values first, which is something kind of new to me. I usually just go straight in like with color and I don't do underpaintings, but I've just started experimenting with them and I'm really enjoying it so far. And I think it really helped me with this box. I think it helped me to be more confident when it came into like laying down the colors further on. So I think I'm going to keep doing underpaintings going forward. But yeah, I'm using my golden open acrylics, which are like slow drying acrylic paints. And the colors I'm using are Van Dyke brown hue, sorry, and titanium white. Now for this box, I wanted to do a color scheme that I don't do that often. Like I don't really do many warm paintings. I use a lot of like blues and pinks and purples in my paintings. So I wanted this one, like I wanted to play with something new on this one. And the theme of the box is like an earth goddess, and she represents the 3 earth signs of the Zodiac. Because I recently found out that my rising sign is actually Taurus. I thought it might have been Aries because I wasn't quite sure of my birth time, but I found out my exact birth time. So I'm a Virgo sun, a Capricorn moon, and a Taurus rising. So they're the 3 earth signs. So my 3 main signs are all earth. I'm very, very earthy. So I thought it would be fun to make this tarot box kind of representative of that part of me, like the earth part. I'm very earth-y. So I wanted to paint an earth goddess to represent myself on this box. And she's got bull horns for Taurus, because Taurus is like animal is a bull. Goat horns for Capricorn, because Capricorn's a goat. And she's a woman, because Virgo is like the virgin woman,
kind of thing. So that is the idea behind the piece. But going back to the color palette, I wanted to paint it in warm tones because I wanted to represent the earth goddess in more of an autumny way, as opposed to what I feel like we usually see like earth goddess is represented like, which is very like green and luscious kind of colors and imagery. So I wanted this earth goddess to be more autumny, with those kind of autumn leaf colors and even some like autumn leaves in the painting somewhere. Maybe in this little sort of headpiece thing she has, which you'll see more of later. But yeah, I wanted to push myself to do this because I don't normally use those warm colors. So I thought it was a good chance to stretch myself in terms of color schemes. So for this underpainting, I was using the open acrylics, but I was really like, I was watering them down quite a bit, at least for that first base layer, because I wasn't too sure how deep I wanted to go. And I knew that, you know, they're just like regular acrylics, so I could water them down and get some lighter washes and then build on top of that. I really like this Van Dyke Brown hue color. I think it's like a perfect neutral brown tone. And I think on top of that grey gesso, I don't know, I just really enjoyed having that grey gesso as the background. I'm glad I chose that because I was able to then, you know, that was the mid-tone, and I used white to create the highlights, and then I used the brown to create the shadows. So I really enjoyed that. I want to use that grey gesso more often. I think it's very, very interesting, and it does help you with underpaintings because you're not starting from white, you've got that mid-tone laid out. And Matisse has these other colors of gesso too. This is a Matisse brand gesso, and they've got all these other interesting colors too, which I'd like to try out a few more, but I should probably use up my grey a little bit more beforehand. So the oranges and warms in this painting, I wanted to counterbalance with a cool lighting effect, like a blue glow lighting effect, to really make the painting pop. And in my artwork, I'm very interested at the moment in learning different lighting effects, how to create them, and just sort of trying to get better at more dynamic lighting, because I think lighting really makes a piece. It really pushes it to the next level. So I thought the best color for this painting would be that kind of complementary blue, and I could not be more happy with my choice for this. I think it really pops and it really creates the atmosphere that I was going for this piece. So I want to share with you the brush that I'm using mainly for this piece. So you'll see me using it's a Borsiani Bonazzi number 6 brush. And I love this brush. I think it's technically a watercolor brush, but I really like the brush shape. It's got this ergonomic shape to it. I think it's a great size. It was a really versatile brush for this piece. And then the other brush that I used was the tiny Montmartre detail brush, and it's a 16/0, and it says it's a spot brush, but I showed it to you like a close-up of it before I started painting. It's tiny, but mainly I used that number 6 brush, and then the little tiny Montmartre one was just for like the small details. But I really wanted to also push myself a bit more with this painting and paint a little bit looser, I guess, than I normally do. So have some more, you know, sort of let the brush strokes be a little bit more, which is not necessarily something that I do a lot. I tend to tighten up detail quite a bit. But I don't know if you can really tell. It's not that I was really trying to do that, but I noticed that I was liking the looseness that was being created. And I think part of that is owing to the golden open acrylics. I think they really lend themselves to that. And just being able to blend them is just, they're just a game changer for me. And I may have placed an order this morning for 6 more colours. I was thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for the last few weeks, and I just bit the bullet, and I have 6 new colours on their way. So I'm pretty excited about that. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, I really stressed myself out with this idea that I had to create this box from start to finish, and that was going to be this week's video. I was stressing out because I knew that what I want to do to it is going to take a little bit more time than that. And that's partly due to the fact that I want to experiment with polymer clay. So I'm going to paint the top of the box with acrylics, the design on the top of the box that I'm painting now. And I want to make the box, I want to add details to the box with polymer clay. And I want to make it look old and like, kind of like there's carved wood elements on the box. And I want to incorporate some vines and some autumn leaves, and I want to really try to sculpt, but I don't ever do this, so I am completely new at using polymer clay and at sculpting. So just that is enough for this box to for it to be taking me a lot longer than normal. I'm not just painting it, I'm doing this whole new art form on it as well. And I really didn't want to rush myself with that because I already felt myself stressing out about it a bit. And I swear that clay can, like, I don't know, it can sense your fear. So you need to approach it with patience and with a bit more like time. And I think that applies to sort of any new medium that you're trying with art. You need to simultaneously have this kind of not serious, kind of playful, light-hearted approach, but you also need to make sure, you know, you're prepared, you have enough time to sit down, and you have a clear space and you have no time pressure. And yeah, you need to be playful and not worried about the outcome too much, trying to make things perfect, because you're new and things aren't going to be perfect. But you also want to be able to not be rushed, so you can give things your proper attention, and in that way you will learn. So I did actually start sculpting the box, some of the details on the box. I'm looking at it right now. And I didn't film that because it was getting towards the end of the day. I was getting really flustered, and I knew that by filming me trying this new artistic medium, I was gonna stress myself out too much and probably make mistakes and get fed up and get, I don't know, I can get really flustered, you know? And I was getting flustered, I could tell, because, you know, things weren't going how I wanted them to because it's a new medium and I'm not good at it. And adding filming onto that, it was just too much. So I didn't film that very first part of me sculpting, but I will be filming a fair amount of the process. Probably not all of it, but I will be filming more of it, and that will be in the part 2 of this video. I think a really important key for me to succeed in this sculpting portion of the process is for me to sketch out what I actually want to do with it, because I've sort of got a vision in my head, but it's not entirely clear. And I think I really need to have a very clear plan of attack because, as I said, I'm no sculptor. So to have a clear plan, I think, is very important. So with this painting, I used a combination of references. I used a reference for the face. I used a reference for like the horns, but that's about it. And for the face, the reference was basically just to get the proportions. So a lot of this painting, like the lighting, her hair, the tree, all of these things I don't really have a reference for, which I personally enjoy working like this. Like, if that makes sense, I've got a couple of reference photos for things, but not everything is reference. There's space for my imagination and my take on things. Like the lighting effect, I don't have a reference for that, but I looked up similar references of like people's faces with a glow from underneath, and it's like I'm incorporating lots of different reference but not staying too strict to them. And sometimes I don't know whether that's my downfall, because I don't know if my paintings would be better if I took more time to really craft and edit together a reference photo from lots of different images and then just paint that reference photo, because I'm kind of jumbling references together like in my own brain and then also working from like imagination. But you know, I'm happy working that way now. But like everything in my process, that could change next week, and I might want to, you know, spend hours making the perfect reference and copy it to a T. Who knows?
This is what I just got from Officeworks. We're going to be sculpting.
Sometimes my mind is away. I drift into space. Don't know where to go. Sometimes.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe, you know what to do. this is YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one, which may be part 2 to this, or it may be another video entirely. I don't know yet. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.